Yo, what is good, my average people? What is good, yo? So, there's a show that has came out that did not nearly get enough talked about it, not enough people watched it, in my opinion, or even if they did watch it, it didn't get nearly enough attention, and that show being Kabaneri. I'm not a monster. I'm a Kabaneri! I really did like a lot of what this show was presenting from the very jump of it, because not only did it showcase characters breaking the boundaries of what was already said to be impossible, we watched this main character who lost, he's already lost family members to these monsters, and after losing family members, he really wants to bring it back, like take it back to them and find out a way to take out these monsters that practically are zombies, um, that can infect you, but really they're more or less like a different weird mutation of some sort that once you try to actually fight them, the only real way to kill them is to pierce this core that they have in their bodies, which a lot of weapons and swords and stuff like that can't actually pierce. So now you have these pretty much unstoppable forces that are ganging up. Like it's not like they just fight alone for whatever reason, unless they're just caught off alone. But even when they're alone, they are the types to call for backup if they can. So you also have to be worried about that. If you are in the situation where they're just teaming up on you, they will even call for more backup on top of that, because that's just how they are. In light of what I believe is some of the best stuff in there, I definitely just wanted to bring back attention to this show. Not to mention, I have nothing to talk about this Thursday, because anime is really scarce. And soon, anime will be so poppin' that I won't even be able to make videos like this. So I'm kind of cherishing it while I can. So, um, the one thing I can say about this show is how much the main character goes through is definitely tragic, and it's hard to watch because he doesn't deserve a lot of the treatment that he gets over time, and you start to see excuse me, you can start to see that relatively quickly, thanks to um, just by being around humans, he starts to get just a negative vibe like put onto him, and that's already pretty messed up. But like I said, the impossible being possible in the very beginning is our main character getting bit and starting to turn into one of them, but winds up cutting all the circulation to his brain off, so there's no way for the infection to reach there. And then uh, he winds up showing this weird pendant that I don't think ever really got explained, because there's only one season and like a movie of this show, which I think the movie was just like a recap of all the seasons, so you don't have to watch it one by one. I think it was just like, oh, here you go. Here's the whole entire movie. You just watch like an hour and so long, and you're done with the whole entire season. So I don't think anything came out after that, unfortunately. But everything leading up uh, to where season two should begin would be so hyped to see. Um, but yeah, the things that really made me feel like this show was doing something different and doing something really cool to see was just overall monsters, their way of having the humans interact with them. Like, you can't just be any old body and try to fight these monsters. You have to actually have a pretty good understanding of what you're getting yourself into. And not a lot of people did that, right? Not a lot of people actually had a chance against these monsters. And then all of a sudden, not only does our main character get like almost turned into one, she then he then figures out a way to pretty much take all of this like pressure. Like, you need a lot of force and a lot of pressure to be able to break through the monster's shell. And by figuring out that case of everything, it turns into like this amazing story of just how to survive against these monsters and how to actually win instead of just being on the run in these giant, ridiculously cool looking trains, which instead of Attack on Titan and being stuck in one area, which I think would benefit you a little bit more than what they're doing, but in this show, it doesn't. Like, they make Attack on Titan's area or their defenses look very, very simple and dumb, because if these Kabaneris ever got into their place, like they do in a lot of different moments throughout the whole entire show, you'll see just why the Attack on Titan people would be screwed, because not only were there some of these Kabaneris that were ridiculous intelligent, like they were capable of actually wielding weapons, dual wielding swords. Um, they were capable, like I said already, of calling for backup. So you weren't fighting one of them for very long unless you killed it really quickly. Uh, which their skin is so hard and unpierceable, it was like impossible for a normal katana to pierce it, or a normal person wielding the katana. You have to be like the most skilled person out of everybody. And even then, I think you needed part of these monsters they're fighting to really actually have a chance in the case of spear hitting the core. Like, you actually had to have part of the monster attached to your sword or whatever to take him out. And that's where the main character came in line, because he makes his whole own weapon that is just strictly designed to take them out, which it does very good. And with him being infected and with him showing any type of sign that he's one of them, that's when stuff started to, run into some problems. When you come off trying to help us, but at the same time you look like the monsters were set out to fight, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for you. So that's the type of stuff that I really was enjoying of this show, is just the simple fact of how much details are getting put into the aspect of his interesting development of his disease. For some reason, he's not turning. He's capable of just hanging around all these people, not losing control, and everything just started to seem fine until then you get the humans who, like monsters, are ridiculously fickle, and sometimes they just don't trust people for their own reasons and stuff like that. So we start to get that aspect brewing, and man, do we get to see some scumbags in this show. Like, I hate some humans in shows, but this one kind of takes the cake. Even some of his, like, the main character's old friends don't mess with him. There's another girl that he starts to like see as a sister that he kind of wants to take care of and watch over, and come to find out she also has like a little bit of the curse. So I think, yeah, they need to like drink blood to keep themselves from completely changing and all this. It was such a good show and underrated. I feel like it's one of the most underrated shows I've probably talked about on my channel, which I've talked about some pretty amazing shows, but to think that the creators of Attack on Titan make this amazing show and not even a lot of people know that it was made by them. I think you could just tell by the animation, the art style and stuff like that. But man, it was very, very cool. It was a show that I can even get my family members to watch, even though they're not huge anime watchers. Mostly just my mom. She wound up watching the whole thing and then asking me about where's the rest? Is there anything else that happened? I was just shocked. I was like, yeah, there is stuff that happened, but I hear there's still no second season. So I just want to bring more light to it. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Big trains, zombie-like monsters, and pretty much a lot of fighting and a lot of death that should remind you of some Attack on Titan type stuff. So if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. Let me know what you think. If you have seen it, let me know what you think. And does it even deserve another season in your eyes? Did you care for the characters? Did you care for the storytelling and stuff like that? And I definitely want to talk to you guys sooner than later. So hopefully we get some anime to talk about, so I don't have to keep talking about shows that are kind of dead, but still need some light shined upon them. So yeah, with that being said, everybody, take care and peace. Your boy got to go to work, so later.